Leading our bulletin this hour, Senator Meyiwa's longtime friend Slindelo Madlala continues his testimony this morning in the trial of 5 men accused of killing the soccer star. Madlala was in the house when Meyiwa was shot back in October 2014. eNCA reporter Slindelo Masikane joins us with the latest. Good morning, Slindelo. A very rocky start to yesterday's proceedings. We had journalists being suspended briefly. They couldn't cover those proceedings. Just give us a quick recap of what happened yesterday, even beyond just that rocky start.
Well, of course, the most anticipated witness so far in the trial finally took to the stand yesterday. That is Slindelo Madlala, Senator Meyiwa's best friend, childhood friend. We also understand they went to school together. And Slindelo Madlala, of course, then was sworn in the morning and began his testimony, just giving us a sense of his relationship with Senator Meyiwa and how he ended up in Johannesburg and in particular in Slindelo on the 26th of October 2014. It was right after lunch where we started hearing more details about what happened on that day in terms of what they were doing in Slindelo. We know, of course, that they were at Makhumalo's home, that is the mother of Khumalo, and there were at least 7 people in that home when the shooting incident took place. And Madlala then described who he saw coming in terms of the intruders, their description. He said the first intruder was short in stature, had dreadlocks, spoke isiZulu and demanded cell phone and money, while the second intruder was actually pinned against the wall by Senator Meyiwa. Slindelo says that he at some point punched him and that Longo Twala had also at some point dashed out of the home. And of course, Slindelo being quite emotional during his testimony. At some point, court proceedings had to adjourn to allow him to compose himself. And then towards the end of the day, when he was describing how the gunshot went off while Senator Meyiwa had pinned the second intruder against the wall, he once more broke down, quite tearful as well. And so we had to adjourn proceedings early. We spoke to a legal expert, Mfundo, with regards to his demeanor in court. Let's take a listen.
The reality is that we, as dispassionate, objective viewers of a trial, can easily, say that the matter is unemotional. However, when you are a witness to a murder, it's not only traumatic, but it's something that can traumatize you, and you can even suffer from post-traumatic stress as a result of it. So I think the courts are sensitive to the fact that when we deal with murders or when we deal with events like this, that you could have witnesses really feeling the gravity of the event once they testify. And of course, the court takes that into consideration. But you can't say because a witness is emotional, now suddenly the witness is lying. Or you can't jump to the conclusion to say because he's emotional, he's truthful. It's just a factor that the court will take cognizance of to say, well, listen, we had to adjourn a number of occasions to provide this witness the opportunity of gathering himself. But you can't really read anything into that other than to say, well, maybe this witness was just traumatized with what he viewed. Maybe he kept it within himself all this time. And now suddenly that he has the opportunity of speaking in a forum where not only the media, but the public at large is looking at him, suddenly the gravity of the event is maybe striking, and that's why we see some emotion. So there's nothing that can truly be read into the fact that the witness is emotional, other than these events are not staged. We are dealing here with real events of a real murder, and to many people witnessing that, that's extremely traumatic.
Most certainly would be traumatic because indeed it was a murder. So what are we expecting today, though, insofar as the testimony is concerned?
Well, of course, we expect Madlala to then return to the witness box. We understand that he's requested that his evidence be heard in camera, meaning that we can't show his visuals while he's in the witness box, even though you can hear him. So what we are expecting is that the state will continue leading his evidence in chief, and then at some point we are expecting or anticipating, of course, the cross-examination to begin by the defense, that is Titi Tobane for accused 1 to 4, as well as Advocate Slindelo Msololo for accused number 5. And of course, this is when, of course, his evidence will be scrutinized by the defense to see where they can poke holes in his story. And of course, we know that he did feature in a documentary that actually aired days before the trial was due to begin. So, of course, we do expect the defense to be referencing some of what he said there in terms of the testimony in court and seeing whether there are any discrepancies that they can pick up. But of course, those court proceedings beginning at 10 a.m. this morning in Mfundo.
All right, Slindelo, thank you very much for that update. That is reporter Slindelo Masikane.